Good evening, everyone. My name is Harry, and today we'll talk about software. So, the basics is software is a set of instruction or multiple sets of instructions that tells a computer what to do. We have different types like application software or system software. So, application it provides the tools for the user to do their daily tasks, whereas system it provides a stable interface so both the application and the hardware can interact with each other. Application will have different types as well, where we have email, browser, antivirus, presentation, malware, and so on as an application software. Some common apps you can know that it's for like Outlook for email, Google Chrome for browser, Windows Defender or McAfee for antivirus, Microsoft Present PowerPoint for your presentation. System software, we have two types that is called operating system and firmware. So operating system is the middleman that provides that interface for both the application and the hardware to interact. Whereas firmware, is an embedded software stored inside a flash memory on the motherboard. And its job is to testing all the components required on the motherboard before loading into the main operating system. It's doing that by using what we call a power on self test procedure, or we call POST, post procedure. So for the operating system, we have some common operating system like Linux, Windows, Android, and iOS. For Linux and Windows on PC space, these two is for the mobile space. But keep in mind that we also have more than these four popular operating system in the outside world. For firmware, we have two types of firmware. It's called BIOS or UEFI. BIOS is the legacy by now because it only allows you to navigate all these settings by using your keyboard. Whereas UEFI, it allows you a more graphical interface so you can easier to navigate with your mouse. So in total, in overall, the BIOS can only boot from drive that has less than 2 terabyte. It only provides a text-based interface, whereas UEFI provides more modern features like boot from drive having more than 2 terabyte, allows both interfaces if you want to do text or graphical, and also has a faster boot time. So for BIOS and UEFI basic key concepts, I'm going to use my ASRock motherboard as example, but keep in mind that each motherboard from different brand will have a slightly different layout, but most of them will have the same thing across all the motherboard. So for the main page, it's gonna display all the common CPU temperature, RAM speed, fan speeds, and stuff. Whereas advanced tool, we have page where you can configure your CPU and especially the USB ports as well. So both on BIOS and UEFI, if you go to the advanced page, you can configure the USB ports to enable or disable. So you can choose whichever USB ports you want to work. So on my motherboard, I have to navigate to ADMD CBS, and then I can go to USB configuration. By then, I can enable or disable. So as you can see, not every motherboard will be the same, but it should provide you the same feature that you need. Tools, unlike some other motherboard, for my motherboard, it has what we call instant flash, where you can just update the BIOS or UEFI firmware just by plugging your USB thumb drive with the version that you want. The security is the page where you can have secure boot. Secure boot is making sure that your motherboard is vigilant against the malware and stuff, against malware and some vulnerabilities when it's doing the post procedure. Supervisor password is enabled to help the user from making changes to your UEFI settings. Boot is where you can choose whatever operating system or which boot system you want to use. So this is where, if for example, if you have two drives where you have one is for Linux and one for Windows, you can go to the boot mode and then choose whichever boot operating system you want to get into. Once you're done with all the settings, then by then you can go to the exit page, is where you save all the changes that you made and then you finish it. If you're afraid of you making some mistake, then you can just do the load UEFI BIOS default. It's going to reset everything back to the manufacturer settings. All right, that is for today. Thank you for listening, and you guys have a wonderful night.